Hey there, I'm Richard Brandt, Monos Historian, and you're watching Stream It Now. Well, we've updated the old blog with 526 additional free movies now showing free on TubiTV. And they range from big Hollywood hits with big name stars to little indie movies to award-winning foreign films to documentaries to low-budget horror and cheesy cult classics. You've got the standout this month, I think, Eric Rohmer's The Marquise of O from 1976, a Cannes Film Festival prize winner. A rarity among Rohmer's films in that it's both a period piece and it's in German, not in French. It's the fact-based story of a young widow who is rescued from a fate worse than death by a gallant Russian soldier, only to find later that she has somehow mysteriously and inexplicably become pregnant. Edith Cleaver is the distressed widow, and a young Bruno Ganz is her heroic rescuer. Also, Marlene Gorey's Academy Award winner for Best Foreign Film, Antonia's Line, Billy August's Best Foreign Film Oscar winner, Pell the Conqueror, an immigrant saga starring Max von Sydow, also Billy August, The Best Intentions, based on a screenplay by Ingmar Bergman, based in part on Bergman's own family history. Also, the French comedy classic with Pierre Richard, The Tall Blonde Man with One Black Shoe, and a double feature featuring Japanese cult icon Takeshi Kitano, Boiling Point, and Violent Cop. And for a steamy import, Asia Argento, directing and starring in Scarlet Diva, and a double feature of Royal Romy Schneider in Forever My Love, a distillation of the Sissy trilogy, and as long as we were getting used to Romy Schneider playing queens and princesses, Victoria in Dover, with her as, of course, the British Queen Victoria. Now there's big Hollywood hits as well, as I was saying, with Harrison Ford in Witness, Halle Berry and Robert Downey Jr. in Gothic, Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson in Anger Management, plus Jack Nicholson in Sean Penn's drama The Crossing Guard, Leonardo DiCaprio in Blood Diamond, Ashton Kutcher in The Butterfly Effect. Nicole Kidman won an Oscar for The Hours, starring opposite Julianne Moore, Meryl Streep, and Ed Harris. Val Kilmer is Jim Morrison in The Doors. Arnold Schwarzenegger up against the Antichrist in End of Days. Andy Samberg and Isla Fisher in the comedy Hot Rod. And Paul Newman, Melanie Griffith, Bruce Willis, and Jessica Tandy in Nobody's Fool. And of course, Ice-T is a kangaroo. Just once, wouldn't you like to hear me just make one of these blanket statements without qualifying it as being part of a movie? Ice-T is a kangaroo. In Tank Girl, starring Lori Petty in the title role. Also, Westerns. You get A Time to Die, which might just seem like a Mexican variant on a revenge-driven spaghetti Western, but the screenplay, interestingly enough, is by two of the giants of Latin American literature, Carlo Fuentes and Gabriel Garcia Marquez. They apparently were getting screenwriting gigs back in the 1960s. Also, from the late 60s, a later Western from director-writer Bud Boetticher, A Time for Dying, which features Victor Jory as Judge Roy Bean, and in one of his later roles, Audie Murphy as Jesse James. You also get documentaries like Produced by George Martin, the story of the hitmaker behind the Beatles, and Arlo Guthrie and Richie Havens, among others, holding forth on the subject of creating Woodstock. Also, for jazz lovers, Sonny Rollins, Beyond the Notes, and another showbiz documentary, To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder story, the story of the man who played the iconic hockey-masked Jason Voorhees in most of the Friday the 13th movies. I met Kane Hodder once at a convention. Cult classics, you got Scream Queen icon Barbara Steele in Nightmare Castle. Al Adamson's cheesy B-movie Brain of Blood. It seems odd that John Bloom would end up being typecast as slow-witted Hugh Hicks, who become the subject of odd brain transplant experiments, yet here you are. He was not only in Brain of Blood, but co-starred with Bruce Dern in the incredible Two-Headed Transplant. That's a career right there. S.R. Brownrigg's follow-up to Don't Look in the Basement, Don't Open the Door, kicking off an entire string of horror movies, opening with Don't in the title. I always wanted to make a Christmas horror movie called Don't Look Under the Tree. And a somewhat steamier cult classic from skinflick pioneer Joseph Sarno, A Touch of Genie, about a young man who's magically granted his every wish, which are all to be transformed into his favorite porn stars. Catherine Isabel became a Scream Queen icon in Ginger Snaps, a truly excellent mixture of coming-of-age drama and werewolf movie. You got Hollywood Dreaming from 1986, which features celebrity cameos from the likes of Zsa Zsa Gabor, and the almost indecently entertaining retro B-movie Big Ass Spider, plus Christopher Walken versus Viggo Mortensen, a spiritual battle for the eons, The Prophecy, and a William Lustig double feature of Uncle Sam, a satirical patriotic horror film written by Larry Cohen, and William Lustig's Vigilante, a socially conscious action flick featuring Robert Forster and Fred Williamson. Then you've got indies like the Polish Brothers' romance For Your Love. Bruce Dern and June Squibb were both nominated for Oscars for Alexander Payne's Nebraska, but Will Forte gives a standout performance as the aging Bruce Dern's much put upon son. Also, Jermaine Clement in the indie romance People, Places, Things. Bobcat Goldthwait's unconventional romance Sleeping Dogs Lie. Samuel L. Jackson and Sean Nelson in a superb urban drama Fresh. And for something a little older, Renee Zellweger and Vincent D'Onofrio in The Whole Wide World, a drama based on the life of Robert E. Howard. You've got foreign animation with Chico Irita, and classics. You've got Rock Hudson as 6'4" of fighting man opposite Yvonne DiCarlo in Sea Devils. Jane Powell in Delightfully Dangerous. Bob Monkhouse in the 1962 comedy Made for Murder, where he schemes to gain an inheritance away from the family's French maid, played by Jean-Luc Godard, regular Anna Karenina, and Peter O'Toole and Burt Lancaster in the Zulu prequel, Zulu Dawn. Also, there's Stand Up from Sam Kinison, Maria Bamford, ventriloquist Jeff Dunham, Paul Rodriguez, and others, and the Riff Tracks gang, savaging movies like David Dakota's A Talking Cat, featuring the voice of Erica Roberts, who phoned it in to a tape recorder over a period of 15 minutes. Not the only Erica Roberts movie on the list, but you'll find it if you check my blog, where I have all 526 movies listed, and I'll leave a link for you.